Every rep I just performed depended on tiny charged particles moving in and out of millions of muscle cells. Hi everyone, I'm Kunda, and today I'm going to explain where our body's major electrolytes are normally found and what happens when those electrolyte levels become abnormal. Our body has two major fluid compartments. About two-thirds of our body water is inside of our cells, called an intracellular fluid. The remaining one-third is outside of the cells, called the extracellular fluid. This includes the fluid surrounding our cells and the plasma in our bloodstream. Now, within the intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid are substances referred to as electrolytes. Electrolytes are minerals that, when they dissolve in water, separate into charged particles called ions. Ions allow for electricity to flow through our nerves and muscles. Inside of the cell, we have potassium, phosphate, and proteins. Outside of the cell, we have sodium, chloride, bicarbonate, and calcium. Let's focus on potassium, sodium, and calcium and its role in muscle activation. So why does the body need potassium inside the cell and sodium outside? Well, it's because it allows for our nerves and muscles to work. Think of it like charging a battery. Our muscle cells need a difference in electrical charge in order to be able to contract. What do I mean by a battery with stored energy? Basically, what this means is that in order for a battery to store energy, there has to be a difference between the positive and negative ends of the battery. The muscles act the same way. If sodium is mostly on the outside and then potassium is mostly on the inside, this creates a difference called the electrochemical gradient. And of course, this difference is basically the cell's stored electrical energy that can be used when it's time to contract. Now, when the positive sodium ions rush in, this changes the electrical charge of the muscle cell. Hence, we get the action potential. Now, let's not forget, remember I mentioned calcium? This is where calcium comes into play. The action potential tells the muscle to release calcium, and the calcium allows the muscle fibers to grab onto each other and then shorten. That's the muscle contraction. Now let's imagine I'm about to perform another set of dumbbell shoulder presses. Normally a brain sends an electrical signal to my muscles. Because my sodium and potassium levels are balanced, the signal travels quickly. Calcium is released inside the muscle contracts, and I can complete the lift. But what if my electrolytes are out of balance? For example, if my potassium level is too low, the electrical signal becomes weaker, and my muscles don't contract as efficiently. I may experience muscle weakness, fatigue, or even painful muscle cramps. Now imagine if my calcium level is too low. Even if the electrical signal reaches the muscle, there isn't enough calcium available to help the muscle fibers contract normally. Instead of a smooth muscle contraction, I might experience muscle twitching and even muscle spasms. Now, what would happen if my sodium level became too low? What do you think would happen? Let's imagine my sodium level in the extracellular fluid becoming too low. This would create a condition referred to as hyponatremia. Normally, the extracellular fluid contains high concentration of sodium. Now, when the sodium concentration drops, the extracellular fluid becomes more diluted than the fluid inside the cell. What happens at this point is that water is then pulled from an area of low concentration of sodium to an area of high concentration of sodium. So the water is pulled from the extracellular fluid into the intracellular fluid, causing cell swelling. Several things can occur with cell swelling. When the cell swells drastically, it can lyse. Basically, the cell can rupture and die. Now, if a brain cell swells, or if the brain cells swell in general, this can increase the intracranial pressure inside the skull. In addition, if I were to have severe hyponatremia, this can lead to headaches, confusion, seizures, and even coma. So hopefully this helps you see that electrolytes are more than just numbers on a lab report. They are what make our muscles and nerves function normally every single day. Disruptions can lead to muscle weakness, cramping, spasms, fatigue, or even life-threatening heart rhythm problems. If we can understand how imbalances affect the body, we'll be able to better adapt our treatment appropriately and communicate our findings with the rest of our team. As future physical therapists, understanding electrolyte balance really allows us to better recognize how physiology influences human movement. It is the overall connection that we make in physiology and movement that enables us as physical therapists to make clinical decisions and provide safer, more effective patient care.